Hey everybody, it's your friendly qualified psychotherapist here, Joe Dinsdale from Multi-Therapy. Today we're going to be talking about something that you may have experienced, which is adult bullying. Now, what is adult bullying? Maybe somebody pops into your head when you hear the word adult bully. Perhaps it's a coworker or a boss, maybe your mother-in-law, or even a friend. Bullying can happen at all stages of life, and you're not alone in this. Often the feelings that are associated with bullying is feeling low, your confidence dropping, maybe feeling ashamed or scared, lonely. These reactions can be tied all the way back to your childhood, really. Maybe think of one or two memories of a time that you were bullied. Perhaps it made you feel the same way as it does when you get the same kind of treatment today. But here's the good news. Now that you're older, you have more wisdom. And sometimes logic takes a back seat and the emotional part steps forward, especially when somebody we care about insults or tries to degrade us. What is one to do when these things happen? How do you stand up for yourself in a way that's fair, assertive, and not also bullying the other person back? This is where assertiveness training comes in. Assertive communication is when you are able to express your own needs, wants, and beliefs, setting boundaries without putting down the other person. There's a bit of a balance. Assertiveness being in the middle, on one side aggressive communication, and on the other passive communication. So how does one do this? Assertiveness communication includes expressing when you don't want to do something, or knowing that you have the right to change your mind. The first step is to take a beat to really analyze what that person has just said to you. Let them take a moment to realize what they've said as well. Next step is nonverbal language, where you stand nice and tall and confidently, and you look that person in the eyes, make that connection there, and really show in your face that you're serious but also curious, right? You're trying to get behind the reasoning why they feel the need to attack you in that moment. Make sure that this is a good time to talk to the person about it, where maybe it's a private setting or an aside, just so you're able to make further connection with that person. Sharon and Gordon Bauer came up with a great strategy that you can remember if you're in this situation with this adult bully. It's called DESK. The D in DESK is describe. That's all about explaining your experience to them in a way that isn't directly insulting them or using a lot of extensive you statements, because that might feel like an attack on the person and they might get very defensive if that's the case. So instead, for example, you can say, as an example, let's say we're in an office, and whenever we have a group meeting, Sherry cuts us off. So we approach Sherry when she's alone. We give her a nice eye contact, nice relaxed stance, non-threatening. Hey Sherry, I noticed during our office meetings, I often don't get too much time to speak during them, and sometimes I feel like I'm not able to finish my sentences during the meeting. We move on to E, express. Express how that makes you feel. So we described. Next, that made me really feel undervalued because I wasn't able to give my really good ideas that I'd worked really hard on. Next is specify. So that's when you're gonna tell Sherry, I believe if we work as a team, we can get my ideas out there. What do you say? Maybe you can sit next to me, and I know that you're kind of the leader, so maybe you could give me a spot at the beginning of the meeting so I could just quickly share my idea that I really want to get out there. What do you think? And finally, consequences. This can be a little tricky because you need to find a way to express kind of the positive and negative consequence that will happen, whether they decide whether or not to help. So, for example, that would be amazing if we can get the idea out there. I feel like it would really benefit the team, and I really don't want to create a separate meeting to share my idea. I'd rather just have it at the weekly meeting. How's that sound? If you can, try to keep things positive, keep things light, so that you're creating this assertive communication pathway, right? When you are able to express yourself calmly and directly, hopefully they'll match that energy. And if not, that's okay, because you've put it out there exactly what you're experiencing, how it made you feel, and kind of the consequences of what will happen next, right? It's not a threat. You're not trying to threaten them. You're trying to let them know that this is a boundary, and that if they cross it, this is the next steps that you're going to take, which is important to make them fair, right? So, for example, I'm not out to get Sherry's job. I'm telling her I'll have to make an awkward meeting booking, right? In the end, I'd like you to remember that no matter what other people say or do to you, that doesn't change the person that you are. They might try to be dimming your light for those various reasons, but stay strong, keep your head up, and remember that you are a person with rights and you deserve to feel loved and respected. So stand up for yourself, because sometimes you're the only one who can. This has been Johanna Dinsdale from Multi-Therapy. Feel free to book a therapy session with me. I do assertiveness training, social skills, and relationship issues, among other things. So feel free to check out my website in the link below. Take care, and multi goodbyes.